This week on the Cannonballs podcast, we review 6 comics: Age of Republic, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Star Wars, number 26 through 30. Qui-Gon is still holier than thou, rocks are still the main subject of the story, and the children's adaptation provides more clarity. I'm Brian Carey, and I'm joined, as always, by my 3 friends, Aaron Laramie, Daryl Byron, and Wesley, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder, Isaac.
I'm gonna have to turn the captions off. You said Age of the Republic. I couldn't. I'm captionless for the rest of this.
I'm impressed that the captions got the scruffy, like the whole nerf herder. It got the whole thing there. That was great.
I couldn't even look.
Audio listeners, go to YouTube. We've got captions turned on for the meeting.
Shit.
Horrifying.
How's everyone doing?
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, just hanging out. I started drinking beer again, so
all right, nice.
Yeah,
I got this Locale. It's my summer beer. It's
Dogfish
Head.
Nice.
So I was asked a
got Miller Lite.
Nobody cares.
The original light. Nobody cares.
It's spelled Lite, not Light.
I was asked a fun question Friday night by a couple of our fans.
What?
A couple of our fans.
How many people is that?
It's not important. Say we were to have a famous guest, where would we draw the line on controversial guests? Like we host a controversial guest, we get some publicity, but where are our morals?
Are you guys cool with Tom Cruise?
What does Tom Cruise have to do with Star Wars?
I don't know. Wait, is it a Star Wars?
Is that the question?
Well, let's assume whoever we come up with is a huge Star Wars fan.
Oh, so it's like a random celebrity who's a big Star Wars fan. What it would have to be? I mean, it would have to be someone just
where
like outright
do we fall on
controversial.
Kevin Spacey?
Kevin Spacey on the podcast? I don't think so. I don't support him that much.
Okay.
He's obviously a good actor, but that doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so no on Kevin Spacey.
No for
I'm
Kevin
okay
Spacey.
with it.
No.
Yeah, I brought up Tom Hanks. I want to see if you guys are cool with the Scientology thing.
Tom
Hanks.
Cruise.
Tom
Cruise. I was like, Tom Hanks?
I was like, is Tom Hanks a Scientologist?
Oh, man, now we slandered him?
I know.
I'm sorry.
Daryl's going to have to issue an apology.
I'm going to issue an apology right now. I don't want to make fun of Tom Hanks. He's a good guy. He already had coronavirus. I don't want to really put any more on him.
Dude. Don't put more on him.
I agree.
He fought in World War II. He got stranded on an island. He almost got burned in an incinerator. The guy's had a rough life.
Was he stuck in an airport too?
Yeah, he had to land an airplane upside down. His ship got attacked. He's had a crazy life.
He landed a plane in the Hudson.
Yeah.
He was in all the Mission Impossibles.
He had an AIDS child.
All right.
You know what? I don't think he had AIDS.
No, but he didn't. But she did.
The child.
Yeah, but I don't think the child had AIDS.
Yeah. Haley Joel Osment does look a little weird now.
No, I stand by that kid is AIDS free.
Haley Joel Osment does look weird now.
Haley Joel.
You might need a fourth.
It's a common feature of people with AIDS. They look weird.
Oh man, this is a great Star Wars podcast.
Yeah. So the most controversial person you guys could come up with is Tom Hanks.
I thought it was Tom Cruise.
Yeah, we just apologized.
It was Kevin Spacey because we couldn't even agree on. So that's pretty controversial if we can't agree to have them on.
I guess so. Yeah.
Why? What's yours, Brian? Because obviously you had an answer.
I think Kevin Spacey was the line.
I think an interesting one is who. What's the name of the Asian actress who was basically like bullied off Twitter? Who played Finn's sort of like pseudo love interest in Last Jedi?
Rose is her name, right?
Like Teresa.
Oh, she could fucking come on the podcast.
Well, but that's what I'm saying is I think like Star Wars related, she's one of the more controversial figures because there are a lot of Star Wars people who like genuinely dislike her character and find it to be like shallow or fanfare or whatever, like just a sort of inclusion for the sake of inclusion kind of thing.
Sure.
Plus, I think she'd be interesting to have on.
If we get any sort of actual Star Wars fan following, I wouldn't want people who get angry at actors and actresses. I agree. Anyone who is on prequel memes and enjoys that. That's who's invited.
Yeah.
To be a
No,
fan.
no one who gives shit to either Hayden Christensen or again, and I'm blanking out his name, but the kid who played young Anakin in Phantom Menace. Like, and that kid was abused. It's Jacob something or Josh something.
Make it up. Nobody's gonna fact check.
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs.
Yes.
Yeah, he's from LA.
Yeah, he also runs a lot.
Yeah.
I thought he was from Las Vegas.
No, that's Jake Jacobs.
Yeah, Josh
Jake
Jacobs
Gyllenhaal.
is in LA now.
Daryl, you sent us something fun. The voice of Jar Jar Binks is hosting a children's Legends of the Hidden Temple type show.
Is it Kevin Spacey?
Oh, really?
No,
Yes.
Kevin Spacey is not allowed anywhere near the set.
Yeah, it's Kevin Spacey.
I was curious.
Kevin Spacey was Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, and he's hosting the new show.
I mean, the actor who played Jar Jar Binks is apparently in a lot of stuff, and I think Marty's plan for the whole month or the whole year now is to send me his Venmos with the rent, but he's going to give me a movie that the actor was in. So that was one of the things that I saw.
So in the tagline of the transaction, he's going to send you just a name of a movie he was in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wait, the actor that played Jar Jar Binks?
Yeah, and the first one he said was so fucking ridiculous. It's called Pool Boy Drowning Out the Fury.
Oh boy, are we sure we want him around kids?
Drowning Out the Fury. I'm not sure what that even means.
Jar Jar Binks podcast.
I'd have him on the podcast.
Oh yeah,
Marty
100%.
or the Jar Jar Binks guy?
I think both. Marty definitely. Jar Jar Binks
Marty-
guy.
Marty's
I might have to tell him I didn't like his character.
Jar Jar
I'd
Binks
say it
guy.
in the nicest way possible.
Marty's
Just
like a stand-in.
If we got Rose, I'd probably say I really don't like the casino scene. I'm sorry, it was fucking terrible to the
It's
movie.
nonsense.
Yeah, why did
but
you
that's not her
refuse to
choice.
act in that?
No, but I would just have to say it. I don't know why I would have
Oh,
to.
yeah.
But
It's not great.
She should have refused to act in that.
She should have been like, this scene is
He had a lot of
trash.
power too.
I've got the star power.
She's like, yeah, we're not doing the casino scene. The director would be like, yeah, that's right. Rose said no. But that's
Yeah,
not-
Rose said we're not doing this
I don't
one.
really know her real name, so Rose said no, so we're not doing it.
Pietro said we're not doing this one.
It's too early. All right, Brian, here's what's up, buddy.
All right, so I was going to start with Age of the Republic, Qui-Gon Jinn by Jodie Hauser. So, a little background on it. Age of Republic. No the. Age of Republic.
Why say more words when you could use less?
Yeah, when
Me
fewer
too.
do trick.
Me see world.
So it's
You nailed it.
it's going to be similar, I'd imagine. Probably a little higher quality to the short story we started with, where they were tasked with making 18 or so comics, short things about characters. Right up, I think it led up to fucking Force Awakens. Let me just see here. 2018, no, so that was... Did Last Jedi come out already?
2018? I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
We know Star Wars.
I don't fucking know.
No, I think it had already come out, so I have no idea
Yeah,
why
I
they
think
released
so.
these.
Oh, yeah, Last Jedi is 2017. It's the winter of 2017.
Yes, to get all that Rise of Skywalker hype, they released a Qui-Gon Jinn comic.
Of course.
Hell yeah.
He
Rise
made
of
an appearance,
Qui-Gon.
right?
Actually, we might hear his voice in the end. He's probably one of the voices.
No, he's definitely one of those.
Okay.
You got to get Liam Neeson to come back.
100%.
Jumping in for that.
on the show.
Yeah.
You get any sequel he wants, of course. Yeah, he's Liam Neeson.
So I opened the comic. It says the title is Balance. You know, Qui-Gon's all about balancing the Force. So we open on this planet called Bryn. That is Brian without an A. It has an apostrophe instead. So maybe it's Planet Brian. I don't know.
Brim
Brian.
with an M or Bryn with an N?
We replace the A with an apostrophe in Brian.
Okay.
So
Bryn.
Brian.
So Brian.
So we
So
open
Brad.
Brad.
Speaking of Brian, I was thinking back. I don't think I ever actually introduced myself in any of the previous
Nobody
podcasts.
knows who you are.
I
You're like,
gave
anyways, I'm myself. and nobody knows who you are.
I gave your first and last names, socials, addresses.
Yeah. Oh man, I got a couple bombs in the mail this week. I was like, "Get open that, Dad."
Yeah, anthrax.
You just throw it. Dad, no.
Yeah. Ah! Just opening the mail.
I don't know who that guy was, but I think he was my dad.
Oh man, if anyone gets that reference, please write in. All right, so yeah, we're on planet Bryn. Qui-Gon's defending this blue alien called Mistress Thayer from some blaster bolts. Mistress Thayer is the priestess of wood.
Ooh.
Oh, wait a minute.
Not the Republic, not the wood. Priestess of wood.
Of wood. Just wood in general.
Yep.
Any kind of wood.
Does she have a last name?
I wasn't
wood.
given it if she did.
Is there her
Princess
last
Wood.
name? Is her first name Summer?
More
Her first
us-
name's Princess.
Summer.
Princess Wood, Brian.
Princess Mistress Wood.
No, okay.
All right.
So they're running towards Obi-Wan, who's in his ship, and they reveal they're running away from some negotiations. Qui-Gon says there's little middle ground between cutting down a tree and not cutting down a tree. That's what the negotiations were about, cutting down some trees.
She's the priestess of
Global
wood.
warming.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely an issue.
That's my wood. You can't
Yeah.
touch that wood.
So they get surrounded
Star
by...
Wars teaches kids a lot of important
yeah.
values.
That's where I learned all of my morals.
Don't touch the wood if it's not yours.
Must chop wood.
Do they meet a mysterious creature in the story, Brian?
No one... Well, we'll get there.
Okay.
He's voiced by Danny DeVito. He's like, don't chop down these goddamn trees.
So I just went around and started blasting.
Yeah.
So they get surrounded by who we find out is the Metal Clan.
Ooh.
Yeah, they like metal, and they want to cut down these trees.
You know, the natural enemy of wood is metal.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't the Fire Nation.
Yeah, I know.
The Fire Nation attack. Mistress Thayer's like, hey, you're a fucking warrior. Go murder these metal clans. And Qui-Gon's like, nah, dude, I'm a negotiator. So they escape to Coruscant, and Princess Thayer is mad about abandoning the trees with the metal clan. But by the law of the planet, they either need her permission or her blood to cut down any trees. So,
Of course.
So they're opposition.
yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Stairs would definitely agree with that.
They at least follow the rules. Murder or negotiation.
Yeah.
And, you know,
They're like Qui-Gon. They're like, we'll negotiate with these terrorists.
whatever, one way or the other.
Yeah, who cares?
So, sorry, your caption only picked up whatever, and you were a little garbled. It got me.
Big boobs.
I don't remember hearing you say big boobs.
I don't remember saying it either, but the caption saw it. So
When you said Mr. Stairs, I thought, shit, I don't know why.
All right. We got audio-only listeners who aren't going to tune into YouTube.
I turned them off. I can't do it. I'm just gonna keep drinking.
you're turning them off. That's fair.
No more captions for me, boys.
So Mistress there is like, hey, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, you guys are cowards. You ran at the first sign of the fight. I heard you guys were great warriors.
Sure.
And Qui-Gon gets sad by this.
He doesn't get upset. He just gets sad. Like he's like,
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Sad now.
He doesn't want to be associated with being a warrior. He's more of a
So
philosopher.
she's like, I thought that you were a good warrior, and he just starts crying. He's bawling out. Inconsolable, in fact.
So
He's
Yoda comes to console him.
Qui-Gon's sad.
Inconsolable. What is Yoda going to do?
By definition.
Yeah.
So he senses some great turmoil in him. Qui-Gon's bothered by being called a warrior. He says, even on Coruscant, the home of the Jedi Council, they're seen as soldiers and servants of politicians, not the Force. Qui-Gon thinks being in the capital of the Republic is part of the reason they're seen as a weapon. Yoda and Qui-Gon say, hey, you need to go somewhere, reflect on the Force. He kind of Dennis Rodman's I need a vacation type
Yeah,
deal.
he's like, get the fuck out of here.
You know, Yoda's kind of Phil Jackson in this.
Yoda's kind of always been Phil Jackson, though.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yoda is absolutely Phil Jackson.
Yoda could coach MJ.
Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
Do you think he understands the triangle offense?
Yoda or Phil Jackson?
So Qui-Gon hops in his ship with only the Force to guide him, and he goes to an undesignated planet. So it just hasn't been called anything. There's no technology, but there's an abundance of life.
Oh man, he should have brought them technology and ruled that planet. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, been the king.
What kind of
You're a
What kind
god.
of life is it?
It's
King
mostly
Gong
plants.
Jinn.
He doesn't encounter any mammalian or reptilian. They're all plant life. It seems like.
Unfair.
Wow, that's perfect for meditating.
Yeah.
Nah, it's a bunch of people and they're just like eating their own shit. And he's like, "Hey,
He's got a lightsaber.
Fire.
He's flashing him down.
he's like, hey, I got a lightsaber and food. You guys hungry?" And then he lives like a god. That's the dream, man.
That is the dream.
Eating food.
So he walks through some nature and he senses some darkness spreading, and he wonders if it's something he's supposed to stop or just learn from. He finds this natural monument from the dark side.
I'm curious
holocron.
what that is, or what that means.
It looks
Crux or Holocaust.
A holocrux.
A holocrux.
It's Horcrux or Holocaust. One is fake and one is terrible. You gotta pick which one you want, though.
Which one's the fake one?
oh no!
Daryl's the truth. Daryl's
Cut the
the
feed. Cut the feed.
And that's it for Baseballs. We're done.
Oh man,
Oh no!
flew too close to the sun on that one.
Yikes!
Not gonna lie, I didn't hear the first word. I thought you repeated the Harry Potter one that I was making fun of.
Yeah, no Holocaust, buddy.
Oh yeah, no, that's a serious thing.
Yeah, now.
Oh no, yeah, that's true.
Anyway, so
No,
he finds-
I'm gonna issue an apology for this one. That was completely misheard.
I'm gonna blame.
audio issue. That was
Yeah, we're running free software here, so if you'd like to donate some money, please just get on.
yeah. If we actually were all in the studio together, there would have been no confusion between Horcrux and Holocaust. So
Yeah, if anything, this is the coronavirus.
Holocron.
issue, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's
Was it-
Holocron. There's Horcrux.
Yeah.
so many
Confusion's likely to occur.
captions actually picked up Horcrux, so you know it's a real thing.
Yeah,
Yep,
I agree. Go
there it is.
watch the YouTube. Anyone who's outraged.
Well, the AI reads J.K. Rowling's books. I'm not really that surprised.
True.
Yeah, me either. So he finds a natural built Horcrux monument of the dark side.
Yeah, a natural monument to the dark side of it. So the dark side even exists in nature because the Force derives itself from nature.
So there's one place where like the dark side's so strong that it gets like the equivalent of a dark side boner, and it just jets out of the ground, and you're like, wow, that's a huge dark side palace.
I like
Yeah.
how you assume there's only one dark side boner in the universe.
I'm just saying,
There's
like
many.
there's only one place, but
The
like
dark side is
it's so concentrated in any amount of specific places that it's like time to create something. It like creates something out of nothing. It's you're like, wow, the dark side's so concentrated, it's a solid thing now. It's physical.
It pitches a tent, metaphorically.
Yeah, it kind of looks like this old decayed tree fortress thing in the comic.
Sure.
Yeah. So he goes there and he's wondering, oh, is this temptation or just a lesson? So he's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go sit in this dark monument, meditate, and try to find the light.
Jesus Christ. It's fucking
He's like, I'm gonna go into this scary ass place and take a seat.
Yep. So oddly enough, he has some sort of vision.
oh, no shit.
Is it dark side related?
Is it bad?
So he's fighting these monsters that are made of like these red thorns. They're kind of humanoid shaped, but they're kind of covered in red thorns. So he hacks them all down, And then like a few different aliens kind of pop up. One that kind of looks Darth Maul-like, but kind of beige instead of red.
Beige
One that
Maul.
looks like Kit Fisto, if that's a Jedi you guys know.
I know
Yeah,
Kid.
he's green and he's got the little alien face. He gets killed.
You got it, yeah.
He's got the
Oh,
little,
poor guy.
Yeah.
He gets shot down. Yeah.
So he
Poor guy.
hacks down the monsters. They turn out to not be monsters, and then he gets consumed by the red thorns.
they were tiny Jedi.
Children. Younglings, if you will.
They were younglings. Yeah.
Younglings came out and they're like, Mr. Qui-Gon. He's like, I have to.
It's
Like, oh, Mr. Anakin, what are we gonna do? I don't know why that kid sounds like he's British, but that's a whole nother conversation. We'll get there eventually.
I think like all of the Star Wars universe is British for some reason, which is odd because George Lucas is like from California.
yeah.
It's a universe where America doesn't win the Revolutionary War.
I was gonna say that, but I
Yeah.
thought that was gonna be. It's like so much that we can go into now. Like I don't even know where we follow that up with.
No, that's okay. We can end it right there. Just no
We're
comment
gonna-
on
This
that.
was
No,
Cannonballs.
Yeah.
And that's it.
All
Well,
right.
they had cannonballs in that time.
Yeah, it spelt it wrong though.
So
Step up
Oh.
your shit, Google. So yeah, he he wakes from his vision because the light found its way in,
Of course.
and he's like, "I guess balance in the Force. I found balance through a means beyond conflict," which doesn't really make sense because he hacked down those Red Thorn people.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
were they really people though?
Red Thorn people?
No, it's just a vision. It was kind of like when Luke goes into that cave and kills Darth Vader, and then the mask breaks, and it's him.
Yeah.
He's like,
It
I've
was
been
basically
here
that
all
scene.
along. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Ben.
Hi, Ben. Ben Solo, come on.
He says, "Violence sows the seeds of the dark side, and unchecked, the Jedi could become that which we fight against."
These violent delights have violent ends. So that
I
makes
like the
sense.
plant theme he's sticking with here.
Yeah.
Seeds of the dark side.
He does kind of like plants.
Is he a vegan?
George Lucas or Qui-Gon Jinn?
Both.
Yeah, okay.
Or Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
Oh, Anthony Hopkins is definitely not vegan, dude. He's
No.
Dude, yeah, he likes fava beans.
He doesn't eat vegetables, Anthony Hopkins.
He does. He eats fava beans.
He's a meaty guy. No, he's eating the carne.
He refuses vegetables, let me tell you.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I turned them back on, guys. I couldn't.
I know you did. Sorry.
He takes things at face value, you know. He's a good guy.
So Qui-Gon goes back to Coruscant, and he
Are you
tells...
mooing?
Yeah, it sounded like a moo.
Like boo.
Oh.
I can move too if you want.
I honestly think your audio quality is a little worse with captions on.
How do
Anyway,
you know I have them on?
you told me, you just said you flipped them back on.
But now, how do I sound?
So Qui-Gon goes back to Coruscant and tells Princess there, or Mistress there, hey, go find some allies here, because I sure as shit ain't helping you.
Damn.
And maybe you could cut down just some of the trees? You know, compromise, balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, a win-win-win.
Mm-hmm.
Cut.
Well,
Qui-Gon
I
tells...
win too. A win-win-win. Or this is a situation where I also win.
Yep. Everyone wins in this situation. Even the mediator.
What were you doing? Were you doing it office? Thinking nobody seen me catch on, and I was like, yeah, I
See, the problem is, I haven't watched The Office. I think
I
everyone
know.
else caught on.
I knew it wasn't for Brian. I was like, Aaron might get it. I think Daryl's doing it, so I'm going to keep it going.
The
Oh, I
problem
got
is
it. I
I'm the
wasn't sure if
host,
you were
so
trying
I'm
to do
like,
it as a
I don't
bit.
know if this is done.
Oh, shit.
Go for a win-win-win where there's trees, metal, and no blood.
Just start
Yeah.
flailing if you want me to wait until you finish your bit.
It's a bit. It's a
Hold on!
bit.
So So Qui-Gon tells Yoda he found some answers, but more questions, and Yoda says questions are good, because certainty in our understanding to arrogance it leads to the dark side. And at this point, I'm wondering if there is a Yoda dialogue style guide, because it feels like they're just forcing weird Yoda speak onto sentences
forcing?
they shouldn't.
Force damn it, Aaron.
Science, damn it.
Mother of force.
Damn it. Call back.
I'm sure there's a Yoda dictionary out there. Probably should get it too.
They're like, so when I read in high school, I read like Clockwork Orange, and they have like this crazy sort of bullshit like Cockney vocabulary that they kind of use that's like a made up thing. And there's literally like a dictionary, like a thesaurus type thing like in the back for all the crazy phrases that they make up. They didn't throw you a bone and give you a Yoda like translation tool on the back.
Oh, they didn't. I'm just wondering if there is one for all this canon.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
Because I feel like some writers like write him like nonsensical. Like you're right, they try too hard.
Yeah, like the regular Yoda dialogue is like solid. Like it all kind of every time you see Yoda in one of the films, what he says you can kind of decipher. But this shit, they're just kind of like, we'll just throw words and write the sentence and just move some words around.
I know. It seems like they just made a passage that he would normally talk and just move things, but he has a distinct flow.
Yeah, how it flows is definitely way more distinct than just being like, we'll take the end and put it at the beginning. That's how Yoda talks.
Yeah, he's just pig Latin.
So Qui-Gon the Walking Proverb says, the tree that won't bend will snap with the wind.
True.
All right.
Bend you break.
I don't think that's true. I think if the tree's strong enough not to bend, it probably won't snap.
Yeah, you should say like a branch or something.
Yeah, like if the tree it's really windy and like a tornado comes through and doesn't take the tree out, it's probably not going to snap.
Well, is it a birch tree or an oak tree?
How deep are those roots?
Yeah.
I think you're just assuming that the same trees exist in the Star Wars universe.
What's the average flight?
I mean,
speed
humans exist in the Star Wars universe.
True. You think they brought their trees with them?
Well, they have to breathe.
Damn, Daryl, you got him.
You did. You win there. It was an oak tree.
You gotta breathe. Shit.
Well, people gotta breathe.
Right. All I'm saying is look at the leaves in the comic book and just tell me what kind of tree it is.
Yeah. Do they look like maple leaves? Let us know.
So at the end, there's a little blurb that has Liam Neeson's description of Qui-Gon. And he says he's a character who is wise and quite philosophical, yet very skilled in martial arts. He has incredible confidence, as well as a magical quality that enables him to see into the future. He's not really a rebel, but he has his own code. No. So having visions isn't dark side.
God,
you're right. No, you're right.
It's manipulating.
Thank you for paying attention, Wes. You should be upset.
Yeah, I'm upset. He should know that by now.
Also, was there any indication in Phantom Menace that he had visions? How does Liam Neeson know this?
No, there was. He was like, "This is the kid."
Yeah, but that was more like prophecy shit. But he never.
Yeah, I thought that was prophecy.
But he sensed it, right? Like,
we're gonna watch it in a couple weeks. So.
I know.
I mean, the prophecy specifically say a Skywalker? I feel like he had to have.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, so he sensed that shit.
He kind of sensed it, and then checked his midichlorian count. Was like, "That's
Long Island medium."
He had him hold the sensors. He checked his.
Yeah, he's like, "Look, kid, I'm gonna put these weird sticky things on your face. Don't worry about it." It's like, I'm afraid, so it's all right. And he's like, "No, that's not the answer."
Yeah. Just gotta put a tiny hole in your skull and check your midichlorians.
I wish they made it.
He lobotomizes.
Yeah. Imagine if it was like donating bone marrow, and that's how you check your midichlorian. Like those people are like, "This shit sucks," but it's only not if you're a Jedi or not. Like, give and take, bro.
Like, not a Jedi.
Damn it.
My bad, dude.
Yeah, that would suck, huh? Instead, Qui-Gon's like, we just jam these sensors in your.
Qui-Gon's like, midichlorians. How many? Well, enough.
It's off the charts.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
So, yeah, that is Age of Republic, Qui-Gon
That's the
Jinn.
whole thing.
That's the whole thing. That's
What's the resolution?
I missed the raid.
Yeah, I like.
There was no resolution.
The mistress, Mister there, who's like, listen, I'm over here, some are there, and he's like, she is like, don't fuck with my trees, bro. And then the metal people are like, we want your trees, and Qui-Gon's like, look at this place, it's bad.
I thought about it.
I'm thinking about it, and if trees don't bend, they break. And is that the whole thing?
Yes.
Wes, Google didn't even try to interpret any of what you were saying.
No, can't even hear you.
He gave up. It's like, what the fuck is this dude talking about?
Yeah, so there's no real resolution?
There's none.
Nope.
So the trees just got.
But
I
don't know what happened to the trees.
We don't know what happens because where's the resolution?
Qui-Gon's like, oh, there's probably some people on Coruscant who've been through some shit like you're going through. Go find them and ask them for help.
That's smart. He doesn't want to get involved.
He decides he's not a weapon of the Republic.
Yep, he's
and
not.
Tells her to fuck off. That's the resolution.
This is prior to Phantom Menace, right? Because that's what we're doing this.
Yep.
Yeah.
You gotta fight your own battles. You
Yes,
can't just call the Jedi because shit hit the fan.
Spoilers.
Jedi have their own business to attend to.
I feel like if he's so against the Republic at this point, then what the fuck is he doing later on when
It's
he's
not
like...
like he's against the Republic. He's against the Jedi being a weapon of the Republic. He thinks they should be a separate entity.
They should only be able to fight the Sith, is what he thinks.
He wants a separation of Force and state.
Yeah.
That was good. Right where you started, I was like, a little smile for Wes. I know where this is going.
Just for a win.
All right, so we're going to talk about Star Wars number 26 through number 30 by Jason Aaron, and That's also
me.
Size Matters Not by ST Bendy.
S.T. Bendy.
Saint Bendy.
He won't break in the wind.
Yeah.
Remember when you used to go to church and then read passages from Saint Bendy?
Saint
Yeah.
Bendy.
I'm just kidding. I never went to church.
Saint Bendy and Saint Breaky.
Force knows you never went to church.
If these trees don't bendy, they will break you.
Yeah. Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Classic Qui-Gon. Your trees are Saint Bendy, they're not Saint Breaky. So don't worry about it. And she's like, what the fuck, you gonna help me or not with against these metal people?
Qui-Gon's like, no, I gotta go into the Force penis and think about it. Like,
Saint Bendy. Alright, well, let's get into this Saint Bendy argument.
size matters not.
Wait, Brian, can we go to a commercial break so I can grab a beer?
Oh yeah. I'll just bullshit.
I already scrooched up to
Wait. Have Wes justify his antipasta thing. Ask Wes the question.
Wes, I got a question for you, and just keep responding until I get back. All right?
Yeah, no. Hit me with it. I gotta. All right,
if you have to choose between mozzarella sticks and an antipasta, which one are you picking?
I can't deal with you anymore. All right. I guess the real question is, what's the cost, Daryl?
Do you love that antipasta that much?
Let's assume they're similar cost, Wes.
Similar
I'll take
cost?
a
I don't know, man. It's always tough going with mozzarella sticks because they're usually not that great and they're usually pretty small, you know.
So Wes, do you like the fried mozzarella, like when they give you the big, like, nice cube of mozzarella, or like a rectangle, or is that more your?
Oh no, they have to be stick form. If they're not stick form, they're garbage.
No, but stick form is almost always fake mozzarella. Like, it's always like shitty mozzarella. Like, fried mozzarella is actually like breaded real mozzarella.
No, I want the shitty Carnival mozzarella stick. I don't want a cube, a square, a circle of mozzarella.
Oh, the triangles are the fucking worst.
You
fucking
gotta give me it in stick form. Stick form or go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some anti-Italian shit right there.
I don't think Italians actually fry their mozzarella.
No, I know. That's why I'm joking. That's why I'm fucking
Yeah. Well,
because it's the most like bullshit Italian food. Like it's like Olive
Italian
Garden.
food I've ever had is at Olive Garden. So
yeah.
A breadstick and a macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, when I'm in the North End in Boston, I'm like, where's your local Olive Garden? Like that's where you get Italian food.
Where's
right?
your mozzarella stickery?
If I go to Italy, I expect free breadsticks with all of my meals.
Yep.
And everything you buy should come with free breadsticks.
Yep.
To be honest,
gas.
Because they'd be like, yeah, here's your free breadsticks too.
living in a city, whenever you go grocery shopping, right when you leave the door, they stick a couple baguettes out of your grocery bag for when you're walking home. Just so in case you're like an extra character in a movie, you're seeing, oh, they obviously are grocery shopping. Look at those baguettes sticking out of their grocery bag.
Fair.
Yeah.
I like it.
Did Aaron choose to not leave when everyone else left?
Yeah, did you guys see me awkwardly scrooch up and move around? Like, you guys got a pretty good view of my shitty room, so that's...
I think most of our people are just listeners. Holy shit, we have someone in the chat. Let's talk to them. All right, so we're going to talk to the chat. So, number one, we've got one viewer right now, PCT Official. He says, is it true that in the United States, it is very racism? I am Brazilian, sorry for the question. Wes, is it true that United States is very racist?
Dude, we're racist.
This is a Star Wars thing, not a political thing.
I'm gonna do a quick little political spin-off here, which is good because I've been drinking, so you know that it's true. We are very racist here in America, and it's bad. All these protests and shit. You see everybody's posting all this stuff. I'm like,
we not the Cannonballs podcast. We as on a whole in the United States.
As a country. And I'm like, it's real easy. Just don't be racist. Like, I don't know. They're like, oh, because it's the government. It's the cops. I'm like, no, it's just be cool, man. Just hang out and be cool. Everybody's out here to have fun, have a good time. Just be cool. Don't be racist. That's all I have to say. That's my.
So the second viewer in the Twitch chat says, hi, how are you for? What are I talking about? I told him Star Wars. Comics
what are
number
I talking
26
about?
to number 30. Don't insult our viewer, Aaron.
Yeah,
Are they a non-native speaker?
Maybe.
The first guy was Brazilian.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we talked about racism. You have anything to add?
To racism?
I'll repeat his question for you.
Less of it?
He says, is it true that in the United States it is very racism? I am Brazilian. Sorry for the question.
I don't think it's very racism. I think there's inherent Shut up, Brian. Fuck you. I think there are like structures of the United States that are like inherently racist, even though they don't intend to be. Like, I think there are a lot of like city structures, like in New York City, like there are ghettos. Like, you've been to places where you can see they're rundown areas, and like minorities tend to live there because they tend to have like lower access to education, lower access to good job. Like, it's all just a snowball effect. And unfortunately, between Corona and the stress of all of like being inside of COVID, like just civil unrest, like any sort of escalation by politicians, like it's all just coming to a head and shit's going down. And I mean, I have feelings on both sides.
All right, well,
I don't know. I literally went to fucking journalism.
We no longer have anyone in the chat.
That's why we're making this podcast, and we're here to help the people.
We no longer have anyone in the chat, so we don't need to answer his question anymore.
Who's your favorite politician, though?
My favorite politician?
Yeah, mine's Chancellor Valorium. I think he did a great job, and then they just kicked him out of office. Is there,
my favorite,
Brian? Is there a Chancellor Valorium canon that we're gonna read? Because that's my dream.
I like Peanut Farm.
Maybe it's not.
You like Peanut Farm?
I would say I like Peanut Farm. Jimmy Carter is my favorite politician.
You guys, we got through one out of 6 comics in 36 minutes.
Oh,
we
man.
gotta pick up the pace a little bit.
How long can we push these comics?
Well, so do we want to do all 6 if it's taking us a half an hour? Like,
we'll get through them.
You think? Okay.
We don't want to disappoint our viewers. We have a schedule we have to adhere to.
The first 10 minutes was bullshit, and then we had probably 6 minutes of getting drinks and talking shit about politicians. So we've really only done about 20 minutes actually.
What was that? Oh shit.
Let's go. All right, Brian.
All right,
let's
so these 5 comics are titled Yoda's Secret War.
Ooh.
Yep. Number 26 is actually the exact same story as Size Matters Not, but I got the answer to one question from Size Matters Not that I had.
Does size matter?
Most
Not.
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 Oh boy. All right. So the whole series is a flashback of Luke reading Obi-Wan Kenobi's journal. And in Obi-Wan Kenobi's journal, he writes a story that Yoda told him once. So it's
He
a
had a golden ticket
flashback
idea.
of Ben Kenobi having a flashback.
It's already off to a great start. And this is
Yes.
going to be 4 comic books worth of this?
5.
5. Oh, perfect.
One more than 4, one less than 6.
So
5?
C-3PO is getting interrogated by an elite stormtrooper squadron tasked with hunting down Leia, Luke, and Han after they stole an entire Star Destroyer. This is
That's a lot of shit.
after A New Hope. I don't know what they did with all the crew members. Not
Murder.
important. We will settle that in 4 years when we get to A New Hope.
Murder and dead.
Yeah, dead.
Vader just tells him, hey, get rid of that droid because it's junk. And
It can't translate Sith, so
he can't translate Sith. I don't want him aboard.
throw him out.
Shit.
Um,
Classic Seth.
but the squadron's just like, hey, this droid knows all about these crazy rebels we're dealing with. Let's keep them, despite what Vader says.
Yeah, what does Vader know?
Yeah. So we cut to the,
Nothing bad's ever happened to anyone who openly defied
Yeah, define Vader.
You know, Dark Vader.
Wes, you so clearly have the captions.
Oh, classic.
All right,
Dark
we
Vader.
cut to the Rebel fleet. Han, Luke, and Leia are like, hey, we're not going after 3PO. He's just a droid. And they realize, wait, we're missing a droid. R2 has stolen an X-Wing, and he's chasing after him. Luke gets in his own
Wait, R2 is driving the X-Wing after him?
by himself.
That's awesome.
Why do you even need a pilot?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Didn't Darth Vader build C-3PO and he just was going to throw him aside like that?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, what an
Sketchy.
asshole.
So,
Things changed.
to be fair, there's other protocol droids who
Yeah,
look
but
exactly the same.
My biggest issue is that if R2-D2 can fly an X-Wing, just why did they have a bunch of people get killed
Yeah.
every
Organs.
time they had to fly X-Wing? Just have the droids do it and save everybody's lives. Like, we're gonna send the droids out. They die. They're fucking droids. They're like, yeah, we're gonna have a pilot for some reason.
Yeah, imagine all those droids.
Murdered.
All those droids who know they're master pilots would just have to sit while their shitty human crashes their plane.
Yeah, kill them.
Yeah, they're like, what are you doing? Why aren't you flying this whole? The guy's like, I don't know. They got fucking shot down and hits the fucking.
He's like,
Poor fucking Porkins.
they're on my 6. The droid's like, turn up, go up.
Yeah.
The droid's like, can I drive yet? Or
Turn off your targeting system. Let me shoot. I got it.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't even Luke. Maybe it was the droid that
That's what I'm
fucking
saying.
fired the torpedoes.
Oh,
Vader was murdering
conspiracy
people.
theory.
Vader's murdering people just because he was sitting back and letting the AI do all the work. His ship was going through just massacring people. and he was
Anakin's like, I
kicking
can
back.
fly anything.
Yeah, right.
No human can fly as well.
Oh shit.
Oh man! All right,
I'm a little mad
so
about that. All
Luke
right.
chases R2, and R2's like, "Sorry, dude, I'm gonna disable your X-wing, and you're gonna float in space, so you have time to
Damn.
read Ben Kenobi's journal."
Perfect.
Yo, what the fuck?
He'll have
right.
forever to read it.
So we flash back, and now's when we're getting into Size Matters Not, and still number 26. Yoda is chasing after this pirate horde who has kidnapped a Force-sensitive child. We're with the pirate horde, and they're like, "Oh shit! I hear a Jedi's coming. We're scared." And then the door opens, and they start laughing at him because he's real tiny.
Motherfucking Yoda.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does he have a cane at this point?
I didn't pay attention to see if he had a cane.
Imagine
one job.
how stupid are people where it's like a Jedi is coming and Yoda shows up and you're like, let's just laugh at him. I'd be like, maybe just.
He's probably really powerful. Like, I have no idea.
I'd be like, if he's a Jedi, I don't care what he's like, there's aliens. So it's not like, oh, look at that little fucking guy. I'd be like, yeah, just give him the kid back. We're pirates. We'll go steal some fucking treasure or some shit.
Give him the benefit of the doubt. Like,
they're like, no, let's just laugh at the Jedi guy. He's probably not powerful at all. So they get murdered. Continue.
So the pirates are like, oh, if you give us the ransom, we'll give you the boy. And he's like, I brought you wisdom, not wealth. And makes two pirates do like, hey, stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. They're confused, but they don't get it. So in the comic, it looks like he hacks them all down like the animals they are.
Hell yeah.
In the children's book, he kind of picks them up and drops them on the ground when they're dazed.
mm-hmm.
But he saves the child.
Force incapacitate.
Yeah.
He actually killed the child, if you think about it, because now the child's going to become a Jedi and get murdered 30 years later.
He sowed his fate.
Yeah. So kind of shitty on Yoda's part.
Depends on who the child was.
If only he had visions.
Yeah.
The child Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He doesn't believe in that garbage.
The child's name was Lo. L-O. Yep.
Lo-O. Hello. Oh, brother.
All right, so Yoda gives the boy to Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and says he's got to investigate a disturbance in the Force he felt on his way there. The Force guides him to an uncharted planet with a dangerous asteroid belt around it. He lands. It's dark, seemingly lifeless, but some warrior children come out to approach him.
Fucking children.
Yeah.
Warrior children. So they all got like face paint, carrying spears and shit. I'm assuming
Yep,
some
yep.
Lord of the Flies shit.
Yep, Lord of the Flies is
Okay.
kind of what's going on here. All right, so that's number 26, and size matters not.
That's short.
Matters does motion of the ocean.
Yeah, size matters not.
Yeah,
Daryl.
come on, Daryl. That's short. That's just your opinion, man.
Size matters. Pause. Not.
Nah.
All right, so number 27. Yoda says to these warrior children, hey, I'm here to help. But the kids are like, we don't need no help from some little frog.
Nice, got him.
Yeah, they're like, we need help. Not.
Yoda's like, where the hell are your parents? They're like, oh, they're up in that mountain. And these jock kids called the Rock Hawkers must have sent you to kill us. And Yoda's like, nope, I'm not here to kill you.
The Rock Hawkers?
The Rock Hawkers.
Well, Yoda's like, I'm 1,000 years old. You think I listen to like teenagers? Like,
They're like, yeah, we're the cool kids on the block. Go kill those little kids.
Yoda's like, oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
Like,
So these kids have these spears with some blue tips, and Yoda senses that these tips are kind of strong with the Force, and he can barely control and move them out of the way as they're thrown at him. And the kids are like, yo, you've got weak stone power, little green frog. And so
Poor
Yoda
Kermit.
uses some normal rocks and blocks the blue spears. So they are like, oh shit, maybe he does have the stone power. And he says, hey, I'm from a faraway land. I heard a disturbance. And the kids are like, oh, you heard the sky scream. Sweet.
Yeah, that's normal.
yeah.
So they're like, what the hell is this sky scream?
I love ice cream.
He's a transformer.
Is it saying ice cream there? All right. So they go to their home Mucktown to show Yoda the sky screamers.
Wait, what?
Mucktown.
They live in Mucktown.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no brain power spent there. All
I was
right.
going to say, they've got big imaginations.
They go to their home, Garbage City. And I'm like, yeah, I wonder what that looks like.
We're going to call this place
They're like-
Shitburg.
They look like 12 years old, maybe. It's hard to tell. It's a cartoon.
Okay.
So they show the sky screamers, and they eat the slivers of the blue rocks that were part of the tips of the spears. and then they scream into the sky with their minds. Yep, that's how they contacted Yoda. Yeah, they eat some rocks and then they think really hard at the sky.
Are they like force
what
rocks?
About? What would you think about?
Why am I eating rocks?
Sky scream. What would your thought be that you sky scream into the sky?
If I'm one of these kids, I'm just eating rocks. I'd be like, please, can someone come to this planet that has food other than rocks?
Anything but rocks.
They're probably like pop rocks or something.
You think they're fizzy?
Yeah.
They shake them up and put them in like soda.
Well, instead of like popping in your mouth, they're popping your thoughts out into the sky.
You know, pop rocks fizzle in your mouth. Instead, you open your mouth and you scream your thoughts out.
So the real reason they scream is because those damn rock hawkers make war, and they just want to survive and stop eating all these rocks.
Yeah, they're like, please, anything but rock.
Are they hawking rocks at them?
I think that's where they got the name.
So, I feel like everything that's not like a major production from Star Wars just revolves around rocks.
Rock trade,
seems like
the rock economy.
Oh man, if the rock traders came here and got these fucking screaming stones, they'd be making a killing.
Like, can you smell what the rock is cooking?
Yeah, you need to interrogate someone. You pop one of these stones in their mouth, they're just spilling all their
they
secrets.
scream their thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have given it to C-3PO. He would have been like, I know where they are.
How do you think they found the weakness in the Death Star? They captured a worker in there and made him scream out where the
That's the part
where
they
the hole
didn't
was.
show you.
No,
in
of
the
course they
movie.
can't show you that.
They didn't show you where they just made people eat rocks until they told you the plan for the Death Star.
They can't show torture on a Disney movie. Come on.
He's
That's
like,
right.
it's the size of a womp rat.
It's a hole!
Just about.
Gross, dude.
Looks like I can hit that from here. He's kind of an asshole in that scene.
He is kind of a dick. He's like, oh, I used to fucking bullseye
You
with my
piece of
T16.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so we have these computers that target stuff. He's like, yeah, shut it off. I'm gonna do this shit. You know what? I'm gonna take the fucking towel from Dodgeball and tie it over my eyes.
Full move cotton.
And I'm like, oh shit, Vince Vaughn is in the cockpit. Archie's like, what are you doing, Vince Vaughn? 1 second, I'm doing a bit. And
Oogity boogity, there's a bit going on.
It's the Vince Vaughn bit.
When you do this, big girl. Fuck.
So Vince Vaughn's eating rocks, and then what happens?
Well, I think he's just pissed off at his dad. He wants to show that he's going to blow the Death Star up, not the droid that's piloting his weapons.
So do you think if Vince Vaughn shouted his thoughts, do you think he'd regret bringing in True Detective? That was a career trajectory mistake.
My dream would be to hear what Vince Vaughn's inner thoughts are. That sounds
I have a
awesome.
feeling they're not that deep.
I don't think so. I just want to know what he's thinking, you know?
Just
Sorry,
at
Vince
all
Vaughn,
times.
if you're listening.
I think we always assume everybody in the world. Want to apologize to Tom Hanks and Vince Vaughn.
You guys slandering Vince Vaughn.
Yeah. You'll be getting baskets in the mail. Don't worry.
I love slithery Vince puns. So we're on the same page, guys.
Oh, shit.
All right, so the kids tell Yoda the story of the planet. There was once a huge mountain of all those blue stones that everyone lived under. But people got greedy and they fought over the stones. The side that won became the rock hawkers. And the people who live down on the ground are the mud whackers.
Ooh.
Jesus.
Yeah. Classic fucking
Why?
Oh my god!
Because they whack mud, Aaron. Keep up.
They live in
Pay attention.
Mudtown, right?
It's in the name.
So there's some weird, creepy adult in a cage that Yoda notices, and the kids
Kevin
are like,
Spacey?
huh?
Is it Kevin Spacey?
It's Kevin Spacey.
Bring it back around.
Never mind, we're not going to slander Kevin Spacey.
Bring it around.
Sorry, are you sure it's not?
We won't slander the good name of Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, he's doing real great for himself now.
He's like, House of Cards was a mistake.
That was the mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
I should have never filmed House of Cards.
Oh, that's when my career really took a drop.
Yeah.
I should have never been in Modern Warfare, or what was the Call of Duty? Advanced Warfare?
Yeah, Advanced Warfare.
Oh, that's fucking brutal.
All right, so some creepy guy in a cage.
Hanging out in a cage.
That Yoda notices. The Mudwhackers say, "Oh, that's just a dog of the Rockhawkers."
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
so
a
they,
DAWG dog, not a DOG.
I heard you. DAW. Yeah. Good one. I heard you, Daisy.
So they fight. The Mudwhackers fight over killing him or letting him go. So the blue stones of the spears like smack each other, and Yoda senses a disturbance in the Force, like the planet wants to tear itself apart.
You should get the fuck out of there.
Yeah,
Stone slapping.
slapping some stones, as they call it in the Mudwhacker tribe.
And that's how you make more Mudwhackers, by slapping stones.
It's like,
yeah, it's a lot of friction.
Yeah, you gotta make sure those stones are lubed up before you stone slap.
Yeah,
always.
Hey guys, right, boys.
Damn right. So Yoda breaks up this fight and says, "Hey, trust in the stone power or whatever. I'll bring the dog back to the Rockhawkers." So he takes the man dog back to the Rockhawkers, and Yoda's like, "Oh no, more children!" But let me tell you, these are like teen drama teens, like from movies. They're fucking ripped. These are some fucking beefcakes with 6-pack abs holding spears.
They're 26-year-old teenagers.
Yeah, exactly. Yoda's like, "Oh no, these children," and they're just like fucking
5 o'clock
jacks.
shadow, but it's like 16, and you're like, that's a fucking grown man, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're like all cut up, wearing skulls. They've got their big blue spears. They're Chads. They're the
Chad
Chads of the planet. I hope he's listening.
Yeah, shout out to Chad.
Honestly, that's the one call out of somebody's name that we said that might actually listen to this shit.
I bet we can send it to Chad. Chad would love this shit.
Chad might be on this.
I feel bad. I'm sorry if you made it this far, Chad. I apologize.
So they start using stone power to throw these rocks at Yoda. So they're basically using some sort of force, but specifically on the rocks. And Yoda's like incapable of stopping these rocks because of their weird kind of force presence type deal. And he's refusing to fight these absolutely fucking swole children.
These swole ass children.
We don't have jobs. Anybody could get that ripped if you didn't have to work 8 hours a day.
Are they human?
I'd be in that shape if I didn't have a job.
If I were a child, I'd be ripped.
If I was like 14, I'd bet you I'd have 5 o'clock shadow, look like I'm 26, and be ripped if I didn't have to work.
So Yoda gets knocked out by one of these rocks, and then when he wakes up, they're like, "You gotta fucking climb that mountain and go into the heart where we sent all those damn parents."
Oh, I like where this is going.
Yeah. So that ends comic book 27.
Oh snap!
Ooh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Got to climb that mountain.
Damn right.
What's he going up
Yoda.
there for?
You better go hang out with those fucking parents, you little bitch.
Yeah.
Yoda kind of wants to go up and see what's up at the mountain anyway.
Why doesn't he just fly?
He's tired of these damn kids.
And their tight bodies.
I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for your damn kids and your tight body.
Yeah. your fantastic physique.
Is Yoda Kevin Spacey?
Yeah, right. He's like, God damn, these 6-packs are distracting. I need to climb this mountain.
Charlie looking good.
Oh, it really was. I'm like, how am I supposed to read the dialogue on this page?
Yeah. These guys have washboard abs. I can't focus.
So Yoda and the dog start climbing the steps, And the dog gets discouraged. He's like, "Oh, we'll never make it up this mountain. I'm just gonna jump off the mountain." Yoda tries to stop him, but the dog is holding one of those blue stones, and he's like, "Oh shit, I guess I can't stop you because I can't move that stone." Dog kills himself.
Is this for children? I thought this was a children's thing.
No. The number 26, just Yoda saving the child, had a children's book adaptation.
Oh, you're talking about Size Matters Not.
Yeah, Size Matters Not.
I thought Size Matters Not was the adult one, and all the comics were children ones. I had it backwards, so I'm like, fuck. Like, Size Matters Not, they're like, yeah, you know.
So,
that does sound like the porn version.
Was the children's book.
Obi-Wan what, the children's book?
Obi-Wan's journal was the children's book.
No, Obi-Wan's journal is the comic book.
Which a children's book is based on.
Yeah, so this is still Obi-Wan's journal going on.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, this is still Obi-Wan's journal. In the children's book, there's no mention that it's Obi-Wan's journal. It's just a story about Yoda saving a kid, and, you know, it doesn't matter that you're small, because motion of the ocean.
Okay. So the dog dude is like, I can't climb a mountain. I'm an adult. I'm just going to kill myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Deal. That makes sense. That's what I would do.
All right, so he kills himself. Yoda gets to the top of the mountain, and he goes inside this cave, and he sees all the parents.
I would love to see them have, like, puppet Yoda be, like, climbing a mountain. Like, there's something that I think would be hilarious about that.
I think that would be funny.
I'd love to see them try and, like, do some special effects magic on Yoda, like, climbing, like, the sheer face of a mountain. I don't know why, but that's really funny.
You guys have played Skyrim, right? It looks like all the stairs on like, to the throat of the world or whatever they fucking call it.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So, yeah, he's climbing the mountain.
Throat of the world.
He deep throats the world.
I gotta clear my throat of the world.
He's like, food for it's time to fuck up these parents.
Yeah, he blows them off the mountain.
He meets the parents, and they're like, "Oh, we wanted to stop the war, but the kids kept wanting to fight, so we were like, fuck this, we're gonna go live in the mountain."
Fuck these kids.
Parenting 101.
Yeah, abandon your children.
They're like, "Oh, my kids want to fight," and I'm like, "Well, time to move on."
Yeah.
I can't wait to have kids, so I can just be like, "Oh, he's crying today. Just leave him in the streets."
Yeah. The fire station will take him.
The street sweeper will clean him up.
Yeah,
I mean, like the fire station.
Put him in a box that just says "free" out on the lawn.
Do you add anything else to that box to make it more enticing, like a little like Pepperidge Farms cookie pack or something?
Yeah,
I put it on like a Lazy Boy recliner.
Yeah,
the box says free, and they want the recliner, and fuck, you've got a baby now.
Yeah, you gotta take the baby too.
No, that's a good deal. You gotta make it like.
And now you've got a fucking jacked teenager in a box.
So the parents are like, we tried, but
yeah, they're fucking
hard, so we just like leave them alone.
We started this war, and now we're not gonna finish it. So Yoda like criticizes them, and they're like, "Well, you could just go find a different part of the cave." And Yoda's like,
"You can just go to the other part of the cave."
Yoda's like, "I think I will."
Yeah, that's great.
So he finds a small child who needs some help, and he feeds him some moss.
Of course.
The boy's name is Garrow. And he says he was put down here because the Rockhawkers said he was weak after he refused to fight. Yoda's like, "That doesn't make you weak, and you seem pretty good with rocks. Can you teach me the stone power?"
You like moss.
Yeah, I can see you like to eat moss and you're good with rocks. You want to be buddies?
Yeah.
Like, yes, dude, you're a little green frog boy. And he's like, "I'm actually old."
Yeah, I'm actually quite old. Oh, shit.
Like, whatever, dude.
I know most people who are old are those fucking ripped teenagers, you know?
Yeah.
No, the old people are the teenagers that look like their fucking name is Chad, and you're a little green frog boy, so I'm very confused.
So he calls him Master. Yoda calls the boy Master. And we get a weird flash forward to Obi-Wan, not Luke, And Obi-Wan's on Tatooine, like after episode 3, before episode 4.
Yep.
Like middle-aged. He's not old yet. Not old Ben Kenobi.
He's like, I've decided to live here for some
Middle-aged.
reason. And they're like, all right.
He runs into someone that has the same kind of swirl graphic that Garo had on his head. And the Garo-looking guy says, hey, if this is your mountain, don't ever leave this place. And Obi scribbled the swirl in his journal. And then we go to Luke, and he's like, I know that swirl anywhere. That's the Vagadar system. I know how I can help R2 and 3PO and become a Jedi. And he takes off towards the planet. I kid you not, this all happened on one page. I am not skimping on any detail there.
I'm very confused by all that, but that's cool.
I have to ask, when Yoda was getting training from the boy, do you think he let the boy ride on his back like in
That's my dream.
he's just walking around the boy on his shoulders?
He's like, what you want to do with the rock is like you just throw it really hard, like step into it like you're pitching.
Yeah.
And you're just like, pitching? What are this?
Yeah.
And he's like, like baseball. They have baseball on that planet.
Oh, absolutely.
Probably.
So that ends comic book 28. Let's move on to 29.
Oh boy.
All right, so because the mountain bluestone Yoda senses is living and alive. Oh shit! I skipped a part. We're not done with 28 yet.
27.
Nope, 28.
28.
We're not done with 28.
Are you sure?
I don't think Brian ever officially said we were on 28, but
Yeah, we skipped to 28 when Dog killed himself.
yeah, he started climbing the mountain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listeners, write in. Tell me if I said 28.
Look at your notes, Wes.
Sorry, guys.
It's number 28.
We're going off script now.
That one's on me. That one's on me.
This is all
He's not
scripted
reading
out.
the teleprompter.
My
So
top got left, so it's just me.
Garo blindfolds Yoda and starts throwing blue rocks at him.
Nice, that's fun.
Yoda just gets the hang of it pretty quickly, and then moves the biggest blue rock Garo has ever seen moved with his stone power, and then he sees the heart of the mountain, and he sees that the blue rock is alive. Blue rock's a living being.
What's his name?
So wait, the heart of the mountain like is a living being, or are just the blue rocks in general one like hive mind?
I don't know if they're hive minds, but inside the heart of the mountain is a large cache of blue rock, which is also alive, like all the other
Which
blue
has like
rocks.
okay.
Damn, and they're
Okay.
eating that blue rock.
And they're eating it,
Yeah, wow.
fighting
I
over
wonder
it,
how
making
much those
spears.
the rock traders would sell that for.
Well, it's not a rock anymore. It's a thing.
Yeah.
So you got to get the animal traders.
Fuck, there's animal traders?
Poplars.
Probably.
The poplars?
Is that a Futurama reference?
Of course it is.
Hell yeah.
Problem with poplars, Brian.
Yeah, but Aaron, you gotta
They're so tasty.
put your hands.
I know,
Do
you
your
can't
bit.
stop eating them. Little blue rocks.
Give me your slurm, the original party alien? Party animal?
Party slug.
Party slug.
Yeah, the original party slug. Slurms Mackenzie.
Yep.
He's got it. Alright, end of bit.
All right, make sure you're doing a bit. I'm doing a bit.
Alright, number 29. So because they find out...
That's not what I said. Oh, shit.
For you audio listeners, Google's caption just said, Aaron said, I tried cannabis.
Yeah. Once or twice.
You never inhaled though.
At the show, yeah.
Oh,
Are you supposed to inhale?
God.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, that one. That's the only one that's really gotten me so far. So.
All right.
The only one.
The only one in the last 5 minutes.
Alright, number
All right,
29.
Brian.
Yeah,
29,
keep
baby.
it going, man. Keep it going. Let's go.
Because the mountain in blue stone is living, Yoda says, oh, we've got to save it. Yoda starts meditating and sharing his life force all day and all night until it starts kind of moving and gurgling.
all day and all night.
And he's like, well, that's plenty. I'm going to leave this cave. And the Rockhawkers are really surprised that he went into the heart of the mountain and back and survived. And so they're like, what did you find? And he's like, I won't tell you. And Garo's like, I'll tell you. I will tell you what we found. The mountain is alive. It's a big giant monster, and we should wake it up.
Damn.
Yoda's like, why'd you do that, Garo? And he goes, go back to the Mudwhackers, you nerd.
Oh.
He's kind of an asshole.
Wait, so we trained him and then just threw him aside?
Yep.
Why would he train him then? Why doesn't he just... I don't understand.
Just
What's his motive? I don't understand him as a character. His character development is very poor.
Just wait. I still don't understand Garo as a character.
Oh, fuck.
So Yoda goes back to the Whackers, and he's like, hey, prepare for some war. Meanwhile, Garo's teaching the Rockhawkers how to talk to the mountain and give it all your angsty feelings so it's evil. So now the mountain's fully awake, and Yoda goes to reason with this mountain-sized angry rock monster.
Damn.
And he's like, hey, I know you're scared that you just woke up and all these Rockhawkers want to make you evil, but fear makes us small. And the rock monster's like, hey, I can squish you like a bug, and seemingly squishes Yoda.
And Yoda's like, size matters not.
Yeah.
I wish. Size matters not isn't said once in any of the material I read. Just the title.
That's
You know.
bullshit.
So Yoda seemingly squished, and we go back to Luke, who shows up on the same planet, but, post episode 4. And he sees what looks like a rock monster hand buried in the sand. Like it's kind of Planet of the Apes with the Statue of Liberty sticking out of the sand.
Yeah.
I like it.
And he sees Garo there. And he says he's the last of the Rockhawkers, and he needs help finishing this war.
And he
Wow.
says, eat it.
He's got to be old now, right?
Yeah, Garo's real old now.
Yeah.
80s?
I don't know. We'll say 60s.
Get Tudor on it.
Tudor,
Yeah.
I know you're
Tudor,
listening live
let
on
us know.
Twitch. You're our one listener asking me, is the United States very racism?
It is very racism.
Number
Very
30. We are in number 30. So Garo attacks Luke at first. He's throwing some rocks at him. He's like, you're a Jedi. Did that green frog train you? And he's like, hey, I need help killing all these blue rock monsters, though. And the blue rock monsters are like now human-sized. They're no longer the size of mountains.
Like he broke himself down to just be able to be human-sized. He's like, why would I be one huge rock monster when I could be like a million smaller human-sized rock monsters?
Human-sized
Yeah.
rock monster.
And I think we're to assume that maybe Garo was fighting the giant in this time.
Sure.
So now we're back to Yoda. He survived getting squished and used the strongest stone power anyone has ever seen and puts the big stone monster on his ass.
I'm a little upset that he learned stone power so fast, and all the other people were there like for years learning stone. But like Yoda's just like instant genius. That kind of upsets me a little.
Yeah, Garo's like, sense the life force in the stone, and Yoda's like, oh, I get it.
Well, but see, Yoda is like a very efficient and effective force user. So I think he's someone who, like, if it's some sort of self-reflection or meditation or like self-realization that it takes to like communicate with these things. I mean, I feel like his brain is in a place where he can just fucking wrap it around whatever shit. Like he's a fast learner and.
Oh,
like
sure, but I mean, like what, like 2 days? 2 days, he's the best stone hacker.
Well, you gotta think too.
Stone throwers.
He thought they were rocks at first. Now he knows they're not rocks. He could definitely throw them.
Yes.
We need trees to breathe.
Yes.
That makes sense. You know what? I take it back. Thanks, Daryl.
You have to know what you're.
Thanks for clearing this up for us. I'm like
shit.
Jason Aaron. So Yoda, or the mudwhackers or someone starts to make more giant stone monsters rise out of the ground, and they look like they're fighting each other. So he raises more monsters after he knocks this one on his ass. It's not dead. It's just, questioning its own power. And he goes up to these, absolutely shredded teenagers, and he says, "Hey, you're gonna start learning some painful lessons now."
Is that a direct quote?
That is a direct quote.
Oh, fuck, Yoda's fucking gangster.
You're gonna learn some lessons now,
bitches. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Now, Comic 30 is all over the place, because now we're back to Luke.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Yep. So future Garrow reveals to Luke everyone left the planet once those rock monsters came alive. They're all like, oh, well, we can't stay here anymore.
I have a question about that. Why
Yes.
the fuck didn't they leave the fucking planet before? That planet was shit.
Yeah, it was undesignated, so maybe they didn't have the technology. Maybe Yoda provided a way to leave.
I hope so, because, like, the parents are living in a cave. The mudwhackers are literally getting their ass kicked by shredded teenagers. Like, everybody should have left except the shredded teenagers.
Yeah.
I would have been like, I'm not living in a fucking mountain. I'm just going to go somewhere else. I'd be like, now listen, son, don't fuck up these little kids. He'd be like, I'm going to do it anyway. I'd be like, you know what? If I'm going to leave, I'm leaving the fucking planet. This planet's shit. So I'm very confused why, like, Rock showed up. I'm like, all right, now is a good time to fly away.
Like these mountain-sized monsters are an inconvenience.
Like, this is the biggest issue I've faced, other than eating rocks and living under the control of shredded teenagers for years.
Yeah.
This is where I draw the line.
Those teens with rippling bodies can't give the mudwhackers swirlies anymore because of the inconvenience of the rock monsters. I gotta get out of here.
And you'd think the ripped teens would just be content in working on their physiques just in the meantime. Like, they're all by themselves, just, hey, working out self-improvement. That's all about.
Their whole community is just one big gym.
They just pick up heavy rocks and put them down.
Basically what they're doing. All right, so everyone's left, and Garrow's like, hey, I want your help killing these rock monsters. Luke says, well, I kind of like the rock monsters better, and slashes at Garrow's arm with his lightsaber. And now we're back to Yoda.
Christ.
So Yoda says, hey, Garrow, feel that life inside the rock. Stop this war. And now we're back to Luke. Luke's like, hey, I'm not a Jedi. Don't call me one. And look around, the war's over. Yeah, it's a Garrow.
Yeah, I guess they are the only ones there.
Yeah. Well, there's some small rock monsters who...
Yeah,
the big one did speak. Like, he
What
said,
did it
he said I could squash you like a bug, and then when he was knocked on his ass, he's like, well, that's impossible.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yikes. All right, we're still Garrow and Yoda time. Garrow says, no, I'm a coward. I'm not going to end this war. And all of a sudden, the rock giants, one has their arm around the other. They're like buddies now. I thought they were fighting at first, but...
Your best friends.
Yeah, they're friends now. We get a little, text that's like, oh, there were very few casualties in the final battle.
Because everybody's friends.
Yep.
I like it.
Back to Garrow and Luke. Garrow now says, hey, I was always good at walking away as a child after Luke refuses to help him. And he disappears into the blue stone. He walks up to it and, I don't know, becomes blue stone.
He's like, just like your dad, right, Luke?
Yeah, you can't say that.
And then he disappears into the stone.
One day, I went out for cigarettes. Came home.
We get some exposition from Ben Kenobi, who says Yoda shared this story with him to teach him this quote: a Jedi must humble himself before he can ever be powerful.
damn it, why would that not be the perfect time to be like, size matters not? Like, why not have that and be the one? Like, you have the perfect opportunity to put it in there,
man.
Yeah, it would have
come
been.
on.
It would have been perfect. So now we're back to Luke. Darrow's now a rock, I guess. Luke starts walking with the tiny, not giant rock people towards the heart of the mountain and says, "Hey, let's get this heart pumping again." And then we see future Yoda, because this is between 4 and 5, kind of meditating and seeing Luke, saying, "Oh man, one step closer to being a Jedi. You're going to visit me soon." And that's where we end. Comic number 30. It's going to the Dagobah system. What did you guys think of these comic books?
I didn't think at first that those particular issues, when you said 26 to 30, that was like one like chunk of a story. Like I thought that might be like little stories, or like I wasn't sure how that would sort of be laid out. So it was definitely, I appreciate that it was like an actual story and not just like a little bit here, a little bit there, because we would have been all over the place. I feel like
summer here, summer there would have been bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want summer stories.
Yeah, Summer Brian.
Summer Brian. Yeah, it's a little sporadic and a little sporadic, but interesting enough. Some of it seems like I said before, why don't you just use the droids to fly the ship? It seems like there's a lot of stuff there's just a lot of stuff that happens that you could probably use in the future that just never gets brought up again. So I'm a little disheartened by that, I guess.
Yeah, and like even like I'm dying to find out them stealing an entire Star Destroyer.
That was
part of it. A C-3PO being interrogated. Just a lot of shit
that they glossed over.
That just never comes up in the actual film.
Did they get the droid back? I think I missed that part.
C-3PO?
Yeah.
No.
No, he never comes up in canon again.
He dies.
C-3PO.
I told you guys we're not spoiling anything. He dies.
Yeah, he's dead.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a quick read. I didn't feel like I wasted a ton of time, and I don't know if it's maybe I'm just not used to reading comics, and maybe there's a bunch of story told in the illustrations, which were really cool. But
yeah, I would say, did this one like grab you? I feel like you liked the last story that we read. You said like 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that's still my favorite. Is the actual story that you read?
Yeah. Fucking Master and Apprentice was a good book.
That's probably from the however many podcasts we've done now. I've lost count. We've done so many.
An inconceivable number.
So many that are valuable. That was still hands down the best, most well-written one that made sense with everything that just a general Star Wars fan would know, that not somebody that's
yeah. And there's so much in it that I left out just because it's a 500-page novel and I'm trying to keep us under an hour and a half at least. We're at an hour 21, by the way.
Okay, good.
I actually thought it was worse.
Yeah,
I thought it was worse too.
But yeah, I agree that I think this is slightly behind Dooku for me right now, but we're gonna do our whole fun ranking show after we watch Phantom Menace and wrap up season 1 of Cannonballs.
Oh, good.
So next week I've got 7 Darth Maul stories, 6 are comic books, 1 is a young.
That could be good though. Like I think that could be number 1 if it's done right.
Yeah. So it's going to be the same thing where I've got 5. It's just called Darth Maul 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a young reader edition in that book that had the Yoda story. That's just a young reader adaptation of Darth Maul 1, called Darth Maul and the Raptars. Not Reptars. It's not Rugrats. Then we've got it's not Rugrats. We've got Age of Republic again, but Darth Maul. It's one of those weird one-off stories. Okay. And then a comic called The Weapon, which is about Mace Windu.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. Their secret weapon, the black guy.
It is United States very racist.
It is.
Oh boy. So then after that, so June 2nd, this Tuesday, you guys, a new novel releases. Literally the next novel in chronological order, called Queen's Peril, about Princess Amidala.
Queen.
And so we've got Darth Maul next week, Queen's Peril the week after that, and then after that is Phantom Menace.
That's pretty cool.
We are closing in, boys.
We're gonna have, we're gonna do Phantom Menace pretty much right around my birthday. That's exciting, man. Oh, also, happy birthday, Aaron.
Oh, of course. It's the end of my birthday month.
Oh shit! It's also I think Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Yes, it is. Last day.
Yep.
Shout out to Daryl. You don't have to give any apologies for that one.
I know. Shout out to my girlfriend.
I thought you were
being part of
trying
the
to claim
heritage.
Daryl was Asian Pacific Islander, but I was like, Daryl's not, but...
Oh, no. No, the girlfriend.
I
No,
didn't really know where we were going with it.
So, Brian, I know you were talking about some of our commenters. Now, did we have anything on the previous video last week? I'm trying to remember.
So we've got Marty,
Of course.
who subscribed, and we've got that commenter whose name has changed again.
Like 3 times, yeah.
It's been like 6
Lieutenant
times.
Dan.
Let me tell you. Nothing from Lieutenant Dan, unfortunately. Let me check the episode 4. How many episodes have we done?
This is 6, right?
This is episode 5.
Oh, it's the best one.
Maybe. We'll see.
No, I mean, never mind.
All right, all comments have been deleted from episode 3.
I'm doing a bit.
It's a Star Wars podcast.
But rightfully so, episode 4 has more views than episode 3.
I think that's fair, yeah.
That's absolutely
There was no story in episode 3.
Episode 3 was short, just bullshit.
Yep.
It was more SpongeBob than anything else, I think.
Awful
It-
video.
we didn't
and
SpongeBob
It
awful
relied a lot
once.
on special effects.
No
And
SpongeBob this
editing
week.
really helped, but yeah.
Yeah, this is a week off of SpongeBob's fun facts.
Okay, so nothing from the host of the SpongeBob's podcast, Wes?
I had a couple things earlier, but it never really it didn't really feel right. So
Yeah.
Save it for
Yeah.
Are you
next week.
feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
There we go, and that was SpongeBob.
and that's it for SpongeBob's. Yeah, no real SpongeBob's this week. So
So I want to
tune in
say
next
to our
week.
podcast listeners, we're live on Twitch right now. It's 10:45 on a Sunday. If you listen next week, you'll get a few minutes of us bullshitting when we finish the stream.
That's the best part.
Yeah. So I think Daryl, you chose to sign us off this week. Is that right?
Yep, I'm
All
ready.
right. So as always, we sign off the Cannonballs podcast by saying,
There's always a bigger fish.